Welcome to Capital Currents, where the flow of business news and market trends keeps you ahead of the tide. I'm your watchdog, and today is Monday, July 14th. In this episode, we'll tell you about Tesla's plans to expand robo-taxis to Arizona. Then, Levi's stock is ripping higher today. And finally, why drone stocks are also flying high today. Over the weekend, Bitcoin surged to a new all-time high, fueled by growing institutional interest and supportive signals from the Trump administration. The world's largest cryptocurrency climbed to a peak of $122,000. The rally marks a nearly 30% gain for Bitcoin so far this year, as investors respond to renewed optimism around regulatory clarity and digital asset adoption. It's Monday. Let's start with what to look forward to. We got a lot of financial companies' earnings coming out. We have JP Morgan, we have Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America. The financial sector in general has done very well so far this year. It outperformed the general market, up 9% year to date. It hit its 2025 low on April 7th. It's up 25% from that point. So you've seen a strong response in the financial sector. I think response to those earnings are likely to be muted though. It's pretty rare that the large banks will jump dramatically after earnings announcement. It's not that kind of investor base, but it does signal that we're moving into the earnings season proper. Let's run through some headlines. Tesla's robo-taxis are on the move and expanding to Arizona. Tesla just filed an application to test its self-driving robo-taxis in Phoenix without any human supervision in the car. Remember, Tesla launched their robo-taxi fleet in Austin a couple weeks ago, but those vehicles still have a human chaperone riding shotgun. And even with the human oversight in the car, things haven't been exactly smooth. There are videos floating around showing Tesla robo-taxis breaking traffic laws. And in fact, there's one clip showing the robo-taxi straight up hitting a parked car. And all of that has triggered the investigation from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is looking into whether these AI cars are ready for prime time. But those little mishaps are not stopping Elon from expanding. He's looking to expand robo-taxi services in San Francisco within a month or two, but we'll see how the Arizona launch goes. The application decision by the state is expected by the end of July. So yeah, in a few weeks we might see unsupervised Teslas roaming around the desert. And outside of robo-taxis, Tesla is expanding internationally as well. Tesla is opening their first EV showroom in India on July 15th. India is a big market for cars, but also very competitive with local car makers like Tata Motors being a big presence. And then also Chinese rival BYD has a presence in India as well. So we'll see how Tesla stacks up. Let's shift gears and talk about Levi's. It looks like people aren't ready to ditch their denim just yet because the company raised its full year profit and revenue forecast. You know, yoga pants tried to take the crown from jeans for a bit a couple years ago. But no, everyone still loves their jeans. Now, Levi's did mention that tariffs are expected to impact their business. Levi's says they do most of their sourcing from South Asian countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia, which have recently been hit with a 30% tariff. Levi's expects tariffs to cost them between $25 to $30 million for the rest of the year, but the company plans to eat that cost instead of passing it along to the customers. It also helps that Levi's makes 60% of its revenue from outside the US, which is actually growing faster than their US business. International sales jumped by 10% last quarter, while US sales were up 7%. This morning, Levi's is up 7% after a strong Q2 beat and raised fiscal year 2025 outlook. That's all the business headlines I have for you. Let's take a look at some stocks making moves. Drone stocks are flying high this morning after the DoD announced a major push to ramp up domestic drone production. The goal here is to boost America's drone manufacturing base and get more US-made drones into combat units in the military. Investors like the sound of that. Drone makers like Red Cat Holdings jumped 18%, Unusual Machines is up 11%, and even some of the bigger defense tech contractors like AeroVironment and Kratos are seeing a lift this morning. On the flip side, Intel stock is down this morning after the company spun off RealSense, which is a company that makes cameras to help robots perceive the world in 3D. This spinoff is now complete, and RealSense just raised $50 million to focus on integrating more AI into their products and enhancing their camera tech. RealSense claims that its depth sensors are used in 60% of the world's humanoid and autonomous robots. But Intel investors didn't like that move, probably because they see RealSense as a promising company as robots start taking over the world, and now it's split apart from Intel. That's all for today's show. Keep navigating those waters, and see you tomorrow.